Every business owner thinks that they're in control until their biggest client walks away with no warning, or their key vendor suddenly goes out of business, or their main marketing channel just gets shut down overnight. And a lot of business owners spend a lot of their energy trying to control these things. But the thing is, there's actually only one thing that you can control in your business and even in your life. And when you master this one thing, well, setbacks become setups and it prepares you for your biggest breakthrough. You see, when it comes to the most successful business owners that I know, I've noticed the ones who thrive are not the ones that never face problems. Instead, they're the ones who have figured out this one fundamental truth. While everyone else is running around trying to control their clients, their competitors, the economy, their vendors, and 1,000 other moving pieces, successful business owners focus their energy on only one thing that actually moves the needle. And today I'm going to show you exactly what that one thing is, why most people get it wrong, and how you can master it so you can turn any setback into your next breakthrough. And by the end of this video, you'll have a completely different approach to handling not just your business challenges, but even challenges in your life. So let's start with this. There are massive parts of your business that you have zero control over, but most business owners try to control them anyway. First, external circumstances will always blindside you. The pandemic hit, supply chains broke down, interest rates changed overnight. Your biggest competitor just slashed their prices in half. You can prepare for some of this stuff, but you can't prevent it. Yet I hear about business owners lying awake at 3 in the morning, worrying about things that they saw on the news the night before that might affect their industry 6 months from now. But here's where it gets worse. Other people's decisions are completely outside your influence. Your client's budget got cut. Your vendor decided to retire without notice. Your key employee took a job across the country. You can treat people well, you can build great relationships, but at the end of the day, people are going to do what's best for them and not necessarily what's best for you. And then there are market forces and industry changes that happen with or without you. Technology shifts, consumer preferences change, new regulations get passed. Your industry might get disrupted by some small startup that didn't even exist 6 months ago. The business owners who burn out the fastest are the ones trying to control all this. They're playing a game that's literally impossible to win. So, if you can't control what happens to you, what can you control? Well, you can control your response. But that's it. You can control your response. That's the game changer. Most people, unfortunately, think that the response is just an emotional reaction that happens immediately. They think, well, I got angry when my client fired me, so I guess that's just who I am. No, your response has 3 parts, and you have complete control over all 3 of them. First, you control your immediate emotional reaction, not the feeling itself, but how long you stay in that feeling and what you do with it. You can feel frustrated for 5 minutes, or you can feel frustrated for 5 months. You can use that frustration to fuel better decisions, or you can let it paralyze you. That is your choice to make. But here's what most people miss. You also control what actions you take next. When something goes wrong, you get to decide whether you're going to make phone calls or make excuses, whether you're going to update your processes or just hope it doesn't happen again, whether you're going to reach out to your network or just sit there feeling sorry for yourself. And here's the big one. You control what meaning you assign to what happened. You can decide that losing a client means that you're a failure, or you can decide it means you just freed up time to find a better client. You can decide that your vendor going out of business is a disaster, or you can decide it's an opportunity to find a more reliable partner. Knowing that you can control your response is one thing. Actually doing it in the moment when everything's falling apart, that's where a lot of people fail. But there's a framework that makes this automatic. First, you need to pause before reacting. When something significant happens, resist the urge to immediately respond. Sleep on it. Your first reaction is usually emotional, not strategic. The business owners who make the best decisions are the ones who create space between what happens and how they respond. But here's where this gets really practical. You can ask yourself one question. What can I learn and improve from this? Not, why did this happen to me? Not, how can I make sure this never happens again? But what can I learn? This question shifts your brain from victim mode to growth mode instantly. Then focus your energy only on your next controllable action, not your next 10 actions, just one. What's the very next thing that you can do that's completely within your control? Make that phone call, send that email, update that process. Take one action and then figure out the next one. I learned this lesson in the most extreme way possible. I couldn't control an Uber Eats driver who decided he was in too much of a hurry or too distracted to stop for a stop sign. He hit my car right behind my back wheel, causing me to violently spin 90 degrees. And my wheels caught, and I went out airborne, flipping multiple times, and I'm sliding 188 feet on my roof. And so while I couldn't control that, I could control my reaction. Of course, I swerved trying to avoid him. But once I felt I was airborne, I knew that no amount of effort on my part was going to change anything. So I just closed my eyes and let go of the steering wheel and let my body go limp. Because I'd always heard of cases where bad accidents where alcohol was involved and the drunk person just kind of walked away without a scratch. And I always chalked it onto them being loose and limber. So I decided a long time ago, if I was ever in a bad accident and I had my wits about me, then I'd do everything I could to go limp. So my reaction was pre-planned. Time seemed to go very slow during that accident. It felt like I was tumbling and sliding for minutes, even though, of course, it was just several seconds. But when everything stopped, I was hanging upside down, held in midair by my seatbelt, and I was grateful I wasn't gravely hurt. I talked about this in another video, and I'll link that at the end of this one, so I won't go into it here. But my point is, I decided up front what my reaction would be. I had a Sunday school teacher who was a fighter pilot in the Air Force, and he told me they always had a plan of when they would hit the eject button while they were on the ground. So that decision was made well before there were any sort of situation in the air that would require them to hit that eject button. So he decided when the eject button would be hit. I decided when I would go limp. These reactions are pre-planned, not made in a panic. Look, you can't control what happens to you in business. Clients will leave, vendors will fail, markets will shift, but you can control your response, and that's actually everything. Remember the 3 parts of your response: how long you stay in the emotional reaction, what actions you take next, and the meaning that you assign to what happened. If you master those 3 things, you'll turn your setbacks into setups. But here's a framework that makes it automatic. You pause before reacting, ask, what can I learn from this? Then focus on just your next controllable action. Don't try to solve everything at one time. Just take the next step that's completely within your control. The business owners who thrive aren't the ones who never face problems. They're the ones who've mastered their response to problems. And now you know how to do that. You also saw how sometimes you can even pre-plan your responses. In this video, where I talk more about my accident, I discuss something that you need to plan for so you don't destroy your clients. So you can watch the hidden danger freelancers don't see until it's too late here. So go ahead and click it now, and I'll see you in the next video.